JT program. I gotta make sure I can do this in order to get the job. She's a dinday liar. I walked 10 feet yesterday.
Walking.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Got his clearance.
I walked 10 feet today too already.
Excellent, Tawny.
Yes.
That is such good news.
Well, Uncle, like, I did it different today than I did yesterday, because yesterday I walked down, sat back in my wheelchair, got back to the end, got stood back up and walked another 5 feet. Today, I got out of my wheelchair, walked down to the end, because I was hanging on to the rails and stuff.
Sure.
She says, now I want you to turn around while you're standing up and walk back.
Wow.
You know, that's not easy.
No.
We moved into Vassalboro Thanksgiving Day, that weekend of Thanksgiving.
Wow.
My grandmother lived in East Vassalboro, by the way, my mother's mother.
And what was her name?
Nellie Morris. My father had just died that summer, and she wanted to be close to her mother, which you can't blame her.
No, not at all.
And I was 17 years old at the time. We're hanging around on the street corner. Remember when we all used to hang around on the street corner?
Oh, yeah.
So we're hanging down the street corner, and one of the guys says to me, Tom, you ought to join the Vassalboro Fire Department. Well, I belonged to the fire department down in Warren when I was 14 years old.
Oh, wow.
So I says, okay, so I joined. 2 weeks later I joined. And of course they went to the meeting and they says, well, who's Tom Richards anyway? And the guy told me he was a guy just moved in town a couple of weeks ago and he wants to join. So they let me join. And I,
Mama's boyfriend, wasn't it?
huh?
Wasn't that Mama's boyfriend?
No, he was a deputy fire chief at the time. He was not that young.
He didn't have.
No, he was the kids in town that hung around on the
Which
street.
kids?
David Social was one of them.
Okay.
He was the first guy I ever met. And he always wore a Winslow jacket with the football on. Remember the orange and black?
Of course.
And I remember him, and we still on the corner there. We were never mean to anybody. We just hung around on the corner. And, then I joined the fire department, and that was it.
So who else was on the fire department that you remember?
Bobby Croy, because he's passed away.
Yeah.
And Freddie Patnod was on it, because he's passed away.
Yeah.
Dickie Patnod was on it, and he's passed away. And there was different, Evan Shore,
Evan's still around.
yes, he is. And there was a lot of people.
Yeah.
And, we had such a, and the biggest thing we wanted to do was ride on the back of the fire truck. That's why we belonged. That was a big
That was
thing.
fun.
That was fun. That's why we joined.
Oh, that's funny.
But
Now, where did you go to high school?
when I graduated from Winslow High, I only went a year and a half.
Okay.
I was a junior when I got there, and I graduated in 59.
59.
And we used to have class reunions right up every month up until maybe a year or so ago.
Really?
But we've lost so many classmates since then.
Sure.
It's not the same anymore.
No.
And you just lost that.
Yeah.
We may get together again sometime.
Right.
I'm not saying we won't, but it's just so.
Not as often?
No.
No.
And Wally Fountain is our class advisor. And he goes too. Oh yes, he goes all the time.
Cool.
And one day he said to me, he says, Tom, he says, I'm a little upset with you. I says, why? What's the matter? He says, you never went out for football. I says, why would you want a skinny guy like me out for football? Well, come to find out, he had a plan. What he'd do is have me run the outside and get in the end zone. And the quarterback wouldn't have to throw the ball that low to the ground, and I could reach up and grab it. That's what he had the plans. So anyway, when I heard that Wally was going to get the Spirit of Miracle Award, remember when they had that in the paper they was going to give it? Well, the guy on Taylor Avenue, Peter Drapo, who owns those white gravel trucks, spotless. And I went over to see him and told him what I wanted to do is get a football. and present it to him, it would say, to Warrior Fountain, if I'd only known, sign my name to it in class of 59.
Oh.
Present it to him when they presented him the Spirit of America Award, but it never panned out.
Oh.
I got the football, I'm just waiting for the person to get it, let it up, then I'm gonna take it to him.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's very cool.
That'd be neat.
So tell me about your employment.
Well, first off, when I first moved to town, I worked for Harvey Senior building pallets.
Uh-huh.
Everybody worked for Harvey Senior.
Everybody knew how, if they didn't work for Harold Taylor, they worked for Harvey Senior.
Well, anyway, all of us young kids, Evan Shorey and
Yep.
all of us young kids, well, we worked down there. My mother would normally her car so I could haul the guys back and forth to work. So we get out of work one time down by the fire station before they built the fire station town office. Arthur Rosine, our cop,
Uh-huh.
was sitting in there one day and the speed limit years ago used to be 70 miles an hour by the fire station.
Wow.
Can you imagine? Posted 70 miles an hour. So I says, you could see him up there, so I says, let's kick it up to 70 miles an hour and go by him at 70 miles an hour. So we did. Got up to Edmund Shorey's house and let him out. Arthur pulls up with his car. Met on the way down. He said, hey, Sonny, you was doing 90 miles an hour. We weren't doing 90, we was doing 70 because we did it on purpose.
Right.
Because he had to do 90 to catch us.
Yeah.
So he jumps out of his car, and his wife is with him, of course. He says, yes, you were. He jumps out of the car with the motor running still in gear. So the car takes off down the street. We're laughing our heads off, you know. He's gonna get his car caught. So we just went off and left him there and continued on our merry way.
Oh, that is
Oh,
hilarious.
yeah.
Oh, my word.
He was a bird, that guy.
And then one time, remember Tom Paris when he was in the store across the street from the old fire station that you and I know? Well, Ike Jock used to be the constable. He was always coming in and telling big weird stories about what he had done the night before and everything. So he came in and told Tom Paris one time, he says, 2 o'clock yesterday morning, he said, no, last night, he says, I was on Cross Hill answering a complaint. He had no car, so we had to walk all the way out there. So Tom didn't say anything, because you remember Tom, he was a prankster from day one. So we waited a couple, 3 days, and I got come in, and Tom said to him, he said, Tom, hi, I said, what do you think of that program on TV the other night at such and such a time? It was the same time, like he had told him that he was on Cross Hill, and I said, yeah, that was quite a show, wasn't it? I don't know what Tom said to him, but he just did it to get him wound up. Tom was a nice guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I just barely remember him, but
What, was he?
Yeah.
no.
And then one time, Norman Duplessis, remember when he was chief? He was a hothead.
Right?
And Bill O'Keefe, remember him? He was the fire chief before Norman.
Yeah, just remember the names.
Yeah. And he told me one time, he says, Norman's a good firefighter, but you need somebody on to keep him calmed down. Well, we got in more squabbles than you could stick a stick at, because I'm the type of guy, if I got something to say, I'm going to say it. But I'm going to say it right in front of everybody, so there's no misinterpretation of it.
Yeah.
And we was down the firehouse one time, and they wanted to get an ambulance. Remember when they wanted to get that ambulance? I've got to tell them before they're home. I got it from you, 1957.
Is it 57? 60?
I don't know. Was it 60?
Somewhere along there.
Yes. It's got a picture of the ambulance on
Yeah.
the cover, and it told history about the ambulance. We got to a firemen's meeting one time, and I wasn't in favor of it, because they wouldn't let us kids drive the fire trucks. Because they just wouldn't let us.
Right.
Well, we're the first ones to the fire station anyway,
Of course.
then they wouldn't let us drive. So now they want to start this ambulance service, so I got out to the meeting, and I says, you know what? I says, you're having a hard time getting truck drivers. I can teach you how to drive that truck and pump it. a hell of a lot quicker than I can teach you to be an EMT.
Right.
A hell of a lot quicker. Jesus, Norman went right out of his tree. I mean, he was hollering, you could have heard him on Main Street. He says, the trouble with you young guys, he says, you come in and you think you know it all. As soon as he calmed down, I said, you know, Norman, you always told us, if we had something to say, this meeting was the place to say it. And I'm telling you how I think. That was the end of it. He calmed right down. They never did get the ambulance or nothing.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, it's funny.
and of course now with Delta doing what it's doing, Vassalboro cannot afford an ambulance
No.
service. There is no way. We can't even afford what we got in the fire department. It's nothing thing to say.
Yeah.
We got, like I tell everybody, years ago we had men coming out of our ears. Now, there's no equipment. Now we got all kinds of equipment and no one to run it.
Yeah.
It's an awful crying shame, but it's gonna come in, if we don't keep doing what we're doing. We're doing a good job right now.
Yeah.
We really are, but manpower-wise, we're not really hurting, because what we do when we have a fire, we call from mutual aid immediately.
Yeah.
Even if we don't need them, they're on the way, so if we don't need them, we can send them back, and we don't have to wait for them to
Right.
arrive. So that's what we do to cover ourselves.
Yeah.
But as far as equipment goes, we get it.
Yeah.
Equipment like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Good. Good. So, after working for Harvey Senior, where'd you work?
He sold out to Warren Bernhardt, not Warren Bernhardt, but Bernhardt. He lived on Taper Hill,
Ah.
down near where,
Esther's husband?
no, it's some relation to Esther,
Must have been her father-in-law.
something. He was a retired engineer. He bought the business for his son Warren. Warren was a hell raiser and he didn't pay much attention to nothing. I went to work for him after. And then I ended up working for Warren Brothers, driving hot dog truck.
Okay.
And that's comical, that job was. I had a brand new truck.
Hey,
They gave me a brand new truck. They sent me to Portland to pick up a steamroller one time. And I got down to Portland and they loaded the steamroller in the back of the bed of the dump truck. And the guy asked me, he says, what do you do with this truck? I says, I haul hot top every day. In fact, I'm the guy that cleans out the bins, and what they do when they clean out the bins, all that shit and stuff has to be preheated before you can mix it with the hot top.
Right.
Well, it cools off during the night, so they gotta get rid of all that sand. Well, I'm the guy that took care of all that sand, and it's dusty, the truck would be covered in dirt about that thick. And I'd get it all cleaned up, so I'd be ready to haul hot top. I was the last one to get loaded, because I was the only company-owned truck. All the rest were hired out.
Uh-huh.
So they sent me to Portland to pick up this rover. And the guy asked me, he said, what do you do with this truck? I said, I haul hot dog every day, just like everybody else. Oh, no, you don't. I said, get the foreman of the 401 plant up in North New Portland. He'll tell you what I do. That truck, when I turned that truck in this, yeah, spotless. Never looked like it had done anything.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Then after that, I think I went to work at Scott Keeper. Worked there a couple of years. Then I went to work at Survey Steel in Augusta. I was there
no
for,
trail truck for a while.
yeah, I drove a tractor trailer for a while, yeah. That was before I went to work for Survey. I had to laugh when they were teaching me how to drive tractor trailer. They told me, they says, Tom, when you get to a point where you can handle this truck, or think you can, he says, I want you to pull off the side of the road, open up the door from the inside, and close it from the outside, and don't get back in. That's what he told me. Because you're not going to have anything but trouble from that day on.
Trailer's going to leave.
Wow.
And I drove tractor trailer for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right in the wintertime. The wintertime was the only time I drove. Can you imagine that in the wintertime? And especially going to Aroostook County.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, the interstate wasn't open then, so
No.
we used to get off in Midway
Yeah,
and ride up through the Haynesville Woods, which is pretty heavy.
yeah,
So I'm riding along one morning, it's about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't, it was so cold out, the exhaust was coming out of the steps of the trailer, that I couldn't even see the trailer. It's hooked right to me, but
Right.
I can't even see it. So I got into Houghton, and I told the guy, I said, I'm having trouble shifting my truck. I says, would you check it out for me, and I'll set it off so you can check it out. Well, he says, you can set it off if you want to, but you'll never get it started again. I said, why is that? He says, only 26 below zero.
oh my word.
Was I froze from that point on. I never did get loaded because it was too cold.
Too
to
cold,
load.
yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't let us.
Wow.
So then I called up Tallahassee because that's who I was driving for. Told him what was happening, and this was on a Friday. He says, if you can find a way home, find a place to store the truck, unhook the trailer, and store the truck, and then hitchhike home, and then hitchhike back Monday morning, and, you know. So I did. Got a ride home. There was a guy in North Vassalboro that drove for lead paper.
Yeah,
John Hamilton was his name. I'll never forget him. I told him, I said, can I hitch a ride with you tomorrow morning going back up to Houghton? Yeah. So I hooked up with him. It took me an hour to crank the landing gear up so I could
oh my,
move it an hour, and it's still cold. I was the only one that got loaded on the roof that told me that day.
wow, that's crazy.
And the trouble with potatoes is they'll freeze while you're
They
driving them. So
Sure.
you have to have heat in the trailer.
Yeah.
Well, what would happen is they'd have propane tanks in the trailers to for heat. Sometimes the tanks would fall over in the fire. Well, I had quite some episodes.
Mashed potatoes.
I started the business in the same year I got married,
Which was
in 1969.
1969.
You know, it's comical how that started because Ike White used to live we lived right next to Ike when we first got married.
Uh-huh.
And he says, you're going to the dump, would you take mine? I said, yeah, how much you going to charge me? I says, 50 cents a week. Can you imagine that? And now it's over $6 a week. So anyway, that's how it got started.
Wow.
And I never asked a soul for a customer.
Yeah.
Remember Louis DeRoste?
Oh, yeah.
He comes up to me on a Saturday. He says, Tom, yeah, Louis, what? He said, I'm going to start a rubbish business. He had an uncle that was in the rubbish business in Riverside. He said, I'm going to start a rubbish business, and I'm going to cut your throat every chance I get. You know how Louis was.
Oh, yeah.
You had to take him for what he was.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, well, Louis, that tells me one thing. He said, what's that? How you and I are going to get along as business people. Well, it was the end of it. He was in business, and then shortly after he had truck trouble. He comes up to me on a Saturday, I'm out hauling trash. He's telling me, he said, I got a proposition for you. I said, okay, what is it? He says, my truck's broke down. He says, and I'll help you haul your trash if you help me haul mine when we're done. And I said to myself, all he wants to do is find out where my customers are so we can go try to get them to work for me. So I told him, I said, I'm going to haul my trash myself. And if you haven't got your truck going by the time I'm done, I would gladly help you. Evidently he did, because we didn't have any problems after that.
Yeah.
Then, Louis, he didn't last too long.
No.
So guess what? He did get some of my old customers.
Mm-hmm.
So the lady calls up and she says, Tom, yes, my rubbish man has quit. Would you be interested in picking up my rubbish again? I said, yeah. I said, what was I charging you before? And at the time it was $1.50 a week, so it had gone up. So I said, well, you're going to have a new lid. What's that? $3 a week. I said, you wasn't satisfied before. Now you've got a reason to be dissatisfied. And I hauled her trash until she disappeared. Passed away, I should say, disappeared.
So Tell them about your sign. The sign on the side.
Oh, satisfaction guaranteed, there'll be a rubbish bag. And then I had another one below that that said free samples. They're still on the truck today. That truck that Johnny's got now is just like my old truck.
Right,
Yeah, the same identical truck,
Oh,
so
that's
just
funny.
weathered up the same.
yeah.
And then I had a sign on the back of that truck that said, I may be slow when I'm ahead of you.
I remember that one.
You remember
Yeah.
that? I still have that sign in my garage at the house,
Yeah,
along with that fire truck and the antique pickup.
wow.
Tell them
Oh,
about
I-
your sign on the garage. In between the garage doors, tell them that there's your sign.
Oh, I got a sign there that says, do not park here, the last car that parked here is still missing. It's on my garage right now, you can hold me this right there.
I got a picture of it in my phone, I can show you that, it's crazy.
Well, I will add that to the footage. I'll go take a picture of it.
Yeah,
And that'll be part of the,
it's right in front of the big garage, you see it, you can't help but see it.
Yeah, you could probably find, the truck with Johnny.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could, he's still up there.
yeah.
The double, all of them, and the other thing too, you tell them about your trailer park thing.
Oh, yeah.
You get a great big sign here made.
Oh, yeah. I was down town office, and you know how town office is about anybody that wants to do anything in the town of Ashland, what it's like to do anything.
Right,
So I says, I'll fix them. So I went to the guy that does all my signs for it. I had him put up a sign, future home of Rocky Acres Mobile Home Park, 200 units. I put it on the tree right there, just so they go by and see
still
it.
there.
I've taken it
You
down.
have?
Yeah,
It's in the garage.
It's still in the garage, I got it.
I remember that sign.
Yeah, that's the only reason I put it up, because I was so, the town of Vassalboro, you know, they don't want anything, they want it, you know.
Yeah.
Then,
Did anybody comment on it?
yes, John Williams did. He comes up,
Oh, of course, because he had to drive by you.
so he comes up one day and he says, how much land you got here? I says 127 acres. So I better add some crap to this, you know, I just can't let it fly. He says, that's not enough room for 100 units or 200, whatever the sign said. I says, well, what I'm gonna do is go over to Bill, what's his name, that lives on Gray Road. Oh, I know what his last name, but I can't think of it. You know, he owns land right next to mine. I said, I'm going over and I'm gonna buy land now so that I can build a road from the Gray Road to Huzzy Hill and put all those trailers on it. Then I'm gonna pave it and the town's gonna take it over and maintain it once I pave it. He never said a word. And I just said it just to get him wound up.
We can take some lessons from you.
Yeah.
You
You're giving
should.
me ideas now.
Well, if you want some more, also, I gotta tell you about the first fire I ever went to when I was in charge. I got promoted real quick in the department. I was only in the department a couple, 3 years, and I got promoted to a second lieutenant. I was the only one in the department with that rank. All the rest were captains and first lieutenants and then chiefs and all that. So we had a fire down on Fire Road, down next to Fire Road 34 on Legion Park Road. And she had a chimney fire. The deputy chief, who was Albert Crosby, he stays back at the station. Here I am, 23 years old. I've got guys that are older than me and more time in the fire department than I've got living. And I'm here telling them what to do. So I want to put water down the chimney. Back years ago, that's how we did. We got new methods now that are a lot safer. And, you know. So anyway, she wouldn't let me put any water down the chimney. So I said, oh, what the heck am I going to do? Well, we got the fire out. We got back to the station. Albert calls me in the office. He said, Tom, he said, how'd you make out? Well, I was doing all right until she wouldn't let me put any water down her chimney. Well, he says, that all you had to do was ask her one question. I says, what's that? What do you want, a cracked chimney or a burned down house? And then you won't have any problem doing what you want to do. But unknowns to me, and unknowns to a lot of people, is when you call the Vassalboro Fire Department, guess what? They own your house at that point in time. They own your house. The town of Vassalboro owns your house, so they can do anything they want to do. But they're not going to do anything stupid because they're all afraid to know what to do. It's not like old times. You know?
Yeah.
So, when I was a kid, Tommy, what the rule was, if we had a chimney fire, we put on the coffee because the firemen were coming and they'd want coffee while it burned out. And they were there just in case. But that was the rule, put on the coffee. Gonna be fire department's coming.
Remember the fire that we had down at Dick's house on the bog road where John Melrose lives?
Yeah.
And everybody called the Vassalboro Fire Department or any volunteer fire department genuine solar savers. That's what they call us. One time down there, Dick was down solar at the time, and I don't know whether the furnace blew up or what, but the fire was downstairs. We burned up the solar and saved the house.
Right.
So John Melrose, I asked him one time, I said, you got any burned timbers downstairs in your solar? He said, yes. I said, you know what happened? He said, no. I told him what had happened, that the solar burned up and we saved the house.
Yeah.
He couldn't believe it. It still burns to this day.
Yeah.
I never forgot that.
Yeah. Do you remember the one, after they burned the blueberry fields, and then there was a fire, it had hit the roots, so it was like popping up in different places, and we had visitors for quite a while. You guys were watching for fires out in the blueberry field.
So you must have gone to the one at the end of Quaker Lane when the snowmobile club burned down, that had been the building had been the town office?
Men's club.
The men's club? Yeah.
They found out who said that, you know.
Oh, really?
Lived in North Vassalboro.
Ooh, yikes.
But he has since passed away, so. But that wasn't the only building set on fire that night.
Yeah, I remember.
I always told everybody, if you're going to burn your house down, just call me and let me know that what you're up to. And I'll guarantee you, I will come down the bottom of Huddy Hill, and if the fire's in North Vassalboro, I'm going to head to Riverside. I'll come up 201, and by the time I get here, your house will be totally down. I've had a lot of fun. It's really been interesting. I really enjoy it. I still enjoy it to this day
I know you
because
do.
that equipment we got today is out of
That's what got him in this mess.
Yeah, it did.
That's when the fire call, he didn't need to do, he's already done his duty over the years.
I don't know what I was doing. That's what surprised me when they tell me what happened.
Yeah.
I said to myself, what the hell am I doing?
Everybody was worried about you
It
too.
was an autopilot.
Yeah.
I don't remember nothing about it. They tell me I had a school bus in a car accident down Riverside.
Yep.
That's where I was.
On Pond Road.
On the bog road. What happened?
Pond Road.
On the pond road.
Yeah.
So I was heading in the right direction.
You
but
were.
But I didn't know what I was doing it. Because we was at the school for Fire Prevention Week.
Yeah.
And what I left the school for is beyond me. I just can't picture. What was I thinking?
That we can't help you with.
You know,
But you survived it, which we're really happy about.
it's a wonder I didn't get killed.
It is a wonder you didn't get killed.
Yeah.
And we're so happy about that.
I just can't believe. And, going through what I'm going through right now with this therapy, if you could have seen me when this first happened, I couldn't even take my left foot and lift it up.
No,
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Now I can.
good.
And today, they brought me back from therapy. I was in my wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
I usually use my walker to get in bed.
Yeah.
She says, not today, you're not using that walker to get back in bed. So she showed me how to do it, then I did it.
Good.
Got back in bed by
That's
myself.
excellent.
It's interesting, I'm discouraged, I really am.
Well,
You know, I am. I go to counseling, in fact, I've got a meeting with my counselor sometime today. No, my psychiatrist sometime today. And, I go to her, she's my psychiatrist,
Yeah.
and I have a counselor.
yeah,
And I see them, it's nothing to be ashamed of.
it is not.
Because today, we have an awful cruel world out there.
We do.
No one has respect for nothing.
Yeah.
And we gotta get
But
it
it
back.
feels like, yeah,
We gotta get it back in order for it to change. We
Yeah.
maybe won't see it in my lifetime.
right.
But our grandchildren are
Yeah.
gonna see it, because you just can't keep operating like this.
Yeah, it is crazy, for sure.
It's just like your mother and father-in-law, because I realize that they're both gone. And when I go down there to pick up their trash, you think I was one of their sons, because they'd come out and talk to me
Sure.
and everything. And then one time, when she lived in Winslow,
Mhm.
she wanted me to come see her, and I never did.
Yeah.
You know, she knew I wanted to see her. And,
Yeah. Yeah, it happens, and, you know,
They were nice people.
yeah,
Oh, I got to tell you about the time. Remember?
yeah,
Listen to this one. Norman Lieutenant was the deputy sheriff.
Mhm.
So wasn't Clyde Adams.
yeah,
Dr. Matthews was the doctor. So he says, Tom, what are you doing? I said, nothing much. He says, we're going to go up and have him committed. And Dr. Matthews is coming to give him an injection so to calm him the hell down. Because when people get in that state of mind, they got wicked strength that you and I
Oh, yeah.
never can imagine.
oh, yeah,
Because they'll tell
absolutely,
you when I suffered my seizures, they couldn't hold me down.
right,
So anyway, we get up there, and there's 5 of us. And Norman tells him, no, you can go with us peaceful, or you can go the other way. You know what he said? I guess it's going to be the other way. My heart dropped to my shoes,
Mhm.
because we got him outnumbered,
right,
but we don't know what his strength is.
yeah,
But he did calm down, we got him all right, but when he said, I guess it's going to be the other way.
Yeah. So tell me about your collections, because I know that you collect things.
Yes.
What do you collect?
Well, I only have 2 antique vehicles now.
Okay,
I have the antique fire truck that the town of Vassalboro bought brand new
yeah,
in 1937.
Wow.
I have it. And I have the original bill of sale where they paid $1,569 for it.
wow. We have a picture of him in our driveway, so we can add
We
that,
can.
And
because he came to visit on that.
I was down there one time.
Yeah.
Then I went down to Harold Taylor's
Uh-huh,
shop because,
yeah, it was open,
yes.
the blacksmith shop.
Yeah, well, it's the first time I've ever been in there.
Really?
Yes, so I wanted to get out because I had the antique fire truck.
Yeah,
And I gotta tell you, Harold Taylor, one time when I first started in the rubbish business, I had regular door hinges for my tailboards.
yeah,
And the hinges kept breaking. So I had Harold build me a set of hinges that wouldn't break, and they're still on that rubbish truck to
I
this day.
believe you, yes.
They're still on that truck today.
Yeah.
I went through that machine shop, and I just can't believe it.
Yeah,
Oh,
isn't it?
they had all the belts and stuff, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
You don't even know what happened.
right, we're gonna try to get it open whenever we, are open at the museum on the weekends. It's the 2nd and 4th Sundays from 1 to 4. And we're hoping to find volunteers to man the blacksmith shop so that it can be open as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at one.
Yay,
Yes.
That works for me.
There was a
All
room,
those old forges out of the
there was
cast
a
iron.
rumor going around not too long ago, and I never took up on it, that they wanted us American Legion people to go down and clean up the machine shop. Of course,
We,
that was back when Roy Brackett was there. 'Cause he was a member of the Legion folks.
Yeah.
And what he was maybe looking for is for help,
yeah,
and that's maybe, it never materialized.
right. And now we'd like them to come down and volunteer to keep the blacksmith shop open or the harness shop. We're gonna rearrange some displays this spring. So we could have two buildings or three buildings plus the museum open if we had volunteers to,
Yeah, well, you're not
Hey
gonna
there.
find volunteers today.
well, we have a good group, Tommy.
No, it's good, well,
Yeah.
you're missing one.
Yeah, I know. So
I'll-
hurry up.
I will. I will.
No pressure, but,
Oh, and the other thing, that building that's further back on the lot used to be the town office.
it was the town office, but it was also the harness shop for, Hanson Lampson, Hanson O. Lampson, who was Annette Davis's father.
Oh, well, even when you tell people in the town of Vassalboro about Huzzy's funeral,
Oh, yeah,
they think you're nuts.
yeah,
That, oh, there was a funeral
Yeah.
party, these guys, oh yeah. I
Yeah.
can remember the building.
yeah,
Once you mention it, they say you're not
I
even
know.
a fruitcake.
yeah. We have pictures, and, we have like a stand for the casket, and, of course, we own Ina's Barn, which was on that property. But, yeah, we've got some good we have the funeral records.
The funeral, her house was in such bad shape that it wasn't worth fixing.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Yeah, so
That was-
I wasn't involved or anything.
Yeah.
And, you know,
That was before I got back to Maine, but,
Yeah.
yeah. But we have all the funeral records, and they're really interesting because they're handwritten, and of course it says like, who died and what they died of, and, they're interesting to look through.
I ran across something here few years ago, because I'm on the cemetery committee.
Mhm.
And the guy that lives where Kathy and Bert used to live, next door, the guy that bought that house,
Kathy and Bert,
Pelican,
okay, yeah,
he was out plowing snow a couple, 3 years ago, maybe even longer, and he ran into something. He stopped the plow. There was a gravestone,
yeah,
and they talked to the cemetery committee, and some girl from the cemetery, I don't know if it's Samantha or not, because I've been piecing stuff together as you hear it.
right,
And evidently she came up and looked at it, and all they did was just cover it up.
yeah. I stopped by because of course the Huzzies are relatives of mine.
Well, see, this is what I wanted to find out, because Danny Huzzy, Huzzy's,
Yeah.
that, there's a reason Huzzy Hill is named, but it is.
Absolutely.
So, you know,
My great-great-grandmother was a Huzzy. So, her diary talks about, hanging out with Susan Huzzy and all the other Huzzies that were on that road. There were a lot of them.
well, see, Howard in West Barber, remember him?
Yeah. Well, I don't remember him, but I know.
No, you know what I
Howard,
mean.
yeah.
One time told me that he remembers mowing grass where I call woods today.
Yeah.
And,
Sure.
and if you drove in my dooryard right now, there's that lilac bush.
Uh-huh.
And all those trees that I planted.
Yeah.
And behind those trees is the foundation of a big house that used to be there. And
Sure.
dumb old me, now listen to this one, this is how you just don't ask questions, put it that way. Edith Cannon was an earl,
Yeah.
and the earls lived on Huzzy Hill.
Yeah.
Now, did the earls live where Bob Penny used to live, or did the Earls live where my house is now?
So, I have a story that was my grandmother's, apparently when my Nana was a little girl. Atwood Earl, and my mother said he lived where Bob and Marge lived. Atwood Earl walked home one day and fell into the ocean, he said. So I grew up knowing that the bog across from you is Atwood's Ocean,
Yes,
because it was that for...
that's what we always called it.
Right, Atwood's Ocean, yeah. And according to my mother, the Atwood Earl lived where Bob and Marge lived. That's where the house was.
And I didn't have sense enough, because Edith would, when I go in the town office, Edith would always ask me about the Earl place, how's things going on. I didn't have sense enough to ask her what was going on.
Right.
Because she could have told me stuff that is gone probably away.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, that's why we're here recording, because we don't want to lose your story, and we don't want to lose my mom. I have 3 or 4 videos of my mom. It's so important that we make these connections and get the recording.
I gotta tell you about your Uncle Bill and Dick.
Okay, not my uncles, those are my cousins.
Yeah, your cousin, all right. Oh, you remember what Brett Terrier used to...
Oh, yeah.
Well, right next door was a guy that lived there by the name of Billy Cunningham.
Yep.
First fire I ever went to. Bill O'Keefe was for fire chief. You gotta listen to this one. The house is burning full bore. There's nothing we can say. In fact, we're standing in front of the house and we see the 2 blackboards on the back wall burning. Well, Bill wanted to put water on it to put it out. Billy was so drunk he wouldn't let him do it. So he takes after the fire chief with a TV antenna pole. He's going to whack him right side of the head. So who comes along but Dick and
Bill.
Billy. And I never forget Dick. They're up the street and he's carrying on like any drunk person would do. And I remember Dick saying, "Perry, if you don't get over, they can rip your arm up on the socket and hit you over the head with it." And the first fire I ever went to, you know, I'm thinking to myself, what did you get yourself into? Of course, the trucks we had back then were quite different from now.
Oh, yeah. I can hear Dick saying it.
Yes. Yeah, if you don't pay yourself up, oh my God. Of course, Dick and Silas, when they were younger, were quite rugged.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
They still are, were.
Yeah, around.
Yes, I went out to see him because we had a fire next door to that trailer.
Uh-huh.
That guy goes part there.
Yeah.
We know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Whether it's legal or not, I don't know, and I don't care.
Right.
We had a fire out there. So I said, Jesus, I ought to stop in and tell Bill and Lorette, because I know she's not well.
Right.
And I said, I better stop and tell them what's going on, so if they wake up in the middle of the night and he's rekindled or whatever he's done,
Right.
that he knows we've been there once before and we'll be there shortly again.
Yeah.
So I stopped in and saw him. This was 9-10 o'clock at night when I was a deputy sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
I was into Reggie's store.
Sure.
And this guy drives by and he says, "There he goes." I says, "Reggie, there goes who?" He said, "That guy's driving national suspension." There I am. I see him do it. Reggie's mentioned it to me and I said, "So what are you going to do now? You just can't let him go. So get in the truck and go stopping and get in someone's to court." So I did. We go to court. And the judge says, "Anybody got anything to say?" I said, "Yes, Your Honor, I do." He says, "What's that?" I says, "This isn't the first time you've been here for this." He looks me right in the eye, less like you and I are looking at each other right now, right in front of everybody in the courtroom, and he tells me, "I don't care what he did 5 minutes ago. All I care about is what you're getting in here for now." And I said to myself, "Good, Tom.
Yep.
You leave this courtroom and don't ever come back again."
Yeah. Why bother?
Why
bother?
Why bother, yeah.
Yeah.
And
They
then,
like to narrow that down so,
and
now
then,
whether they can get it.
well, but I don't know what, you remember,
Yeah,
she calls up the house. Remember when she used to live in South China
Yeah.
on 32? I lived in the Revere house. She calls me up, she says, Tom, you come down here and get this son of a bitch. I ain't putting up with this shit no more. They're both drunk in hell. They got into a hell of a fight. And I told her, I said, I've got a complaint I've got to go to first, but as soon as I get done, I'll be down. I still haven't got there yet. And they both had passed away now. Of course, he wasn't from North Vassalboro. I grew up with him as a kid.
yeah,
Oh, yeah?
yeah. And she had a son.
Yeah,
He's
well,
not too bad.
he isn't. I stopped in to see him last summer. I can remember one time sitting on the four corners and that. We never were rude to anybody when we was on the corner. We always, said hi to everybody. Ike York comes down. He's standing on the street, I'm up on the sidewalk. Well, you compare his height to mine, plus the distance of the sidewalk. He's got his gun out now, and he's pointing it right in my face,
Oh my word.
telling me to behave myself or else. And I'm thinking to myself, Tom, whatever you do, get the hell away from here, because he doesn't know what he's doing. Could have blown my head off.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But you know, it
Either
was,
you to watch your fingers,
oh,
working around, and he lost a lot of his ends of his fingers, and one finger, whole finger, tips of the others.
And where was this? Wow.
You always didn't want to work with him, boy. He down there got me one hand, this one finger, helping him put a transmission in the car. He's a tough guy. He
But a
got-
little uncoordinated.
Yeah, that too. He took a starter, had this change of starter on one of the cruisers. On the Chrysler project, there's three starter bolts. Two of them go like they ordinarily do. The third one comes from the backside. And it wouldn't come because he forgot that one. He was busy taking the two out to change the starter on this cruiser. Chrysler product, Dodge. He grabs the biggest small he could find, and he hit that, and he took part of the bell housing, and now we had to change the whole thing.
and when he retired from the state police as a mechanic, guess what they gave him? A sledgehammer made out of gold. Gave it to him as his,
Painted all up gold.
but there's quite some stories about that.
Yeah.
I just didn't come to a meeting sometime and, have a question
Yeah.
and answer period, because there's a lot of things that.
Absolutely.
I'd
That's what
love
we
to-
want.
I'd love to.
We have, on the third Tuesday of every month, from 1 to 3, we have seniority. And it's just, this is what it is. It's reminiscing
I
and,
gotta get over that.
yeah, we'd love to have you.
I
It's-
get some stuff you guys could probably use
And we're,
still.
yeah, we're just, we're
Oh,
waiting for you to get there.
You seen that fire hydrant up by my house?
The what?
Fire hydrant up by my
Yeah.
house.
I've got a
I had
wrench.
that given to me
That
by a
long,
guy down in North Vassalboro.
probably
Uh-huh.
that thick.
So I said, when
That
we
wide
move in a
on
new
each end of the
house,
big bar.
I'm gonna put
So
that
actually,
fire hydrant, really shallow.
It's used to
Take
tighten
that
the
fire
tacks on
insurance
locomotives.
cheaper.
Okay.
Because of that
That's
fire
the
hydrant
wrench
sitting
is way
down by
low.
my
It's
house.
heavy.
Can you imagine what you put
It's
that
right now,
thing
it's-
laying on the ground up there?
Rush guy
Oh, that's
this town.
funny.
I wanna get another one and put it up by the pond on my
They had all
side
the
of the
big
street.
wrenches like
Yeah.
that.
Didn't know one. I've asked the guys from the water
Yeah.
district to get one,
This
but they
thing
haven't
was-
found one yet.
The
Yeah.
jaws were that
But I
far
wanna
apart
put
on
another
one
one
end,
up.
and there's a quarter
How's
of an inch
Linda?
smaller on the other end.
Wow.
But the whole
No.
thing
He's got
It's
little
quite heavy,
stages
be
of
careful.
dementia.
Yeah. Okay, you'll drop that one on your phone.
Yeah.
That's
Is
all
Karen
the-
there a lot?
Down
No,
to the town
she-
garage right now.
Linda is a hard person to get along with now,
Yeah.
compared to what she used to.
Oh, I know, I know.
It
Yeah,
was just
no,
hard.
hopefully,
She
yeah.
can't even get along with Kathy.
Built a new
Yeah,
garage.
that's
built a
hard.
extended
You know,
garage,
well,
yeah.
It's something that I've got to do when I get out, is I've got to either find her a place to live or get somebody to come in and take care of her. I
Yeah,
gotta do one or two things.
right.
It's in there.
And-
Removed.
And consider yourself in the
Well, this
mix?
is what I gotta do, it's just like I told him.
Yeah,
He's
that'd be a crime for it
85
to go to
years
the dump.
old, I'm 83.
Mhm.
Find something to do to occupy himself.
Yeah.
And I've gotta do the same thing.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't conform with what she wants to do, then so be it,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Made big aluminum clips,
So-
screwed them in the wall, and
Yeah.
hung up on
You're-
the picture.
Are you, you're a little older than Maureen and Bill Maycumber. Do you know Bill Maycumber?
No,
No.
He's younger than I am.
Wayne Maycomb I knew, and his son, is a footman, Morse Gardner.
Yeah, I don't think they're related, although Bill's son is named Wayne, but he lives in Massachusetts.
Yeah, Wayne was the father of our selectman.
Yeah,
What's his name? Randy Maycomb.
huh.
He's got that
Come, Liz.
trucking business out there on the,
We start packing up?
Oh. Any final words for us?
Just don't close the doors when I get ready to come home.
Okay. We'll make sure they're open.
How's your mother doing, by the way?
I'm sorry?
How's your mother doing, by the way?
She's doing good. She's doing good. So, no, we were just talking about my dad the other day though. So, you know, this was my dad's coat. I'm still wearing it
Good for you.
because it makes me feel close to him.
Yeah.
So, and that's why, if I can say this without getting emotional, that's why I'm doing these things. I couldn't do this with my own dad.
our church, that's a prayer blanket.
Uh-huh.
And they gave it to me and my wife to bring to Tom.
Oh,
And you can actually feel
the love, yeah.
blessing in that.
Yeah, that's so nice.
And
That's
he
so-
says that, he said that from day one.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, we'll definitely have to do this again.
Yes, and I promise I'll come down and do, we can have a
yeah.
shoot the breeze thing.
Well, that's it. And I mean, John McLean's another one I'd like to have come down, you know, John,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure. You know, just to
Where's he? John?
Vassalboro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He grew up on the Oak Grove Road.
Yeah, I think, wasn't he on Tabor Hill?
He lives on Tabor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was his dad that used to deliver,
Milk for Smiley's Dairy.
and potato chips. Didn't he?
Yes.
Remember?
Yes, I remember.
Big tins of potato chips, I loved them, they were
Well,
all
his
so
brother,
good.
Everett McLean, is in my class.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I remember John working for Smiley's Dairy, and we'd go down to Bunnings Snowmobile Station, and hang around there before he went to work. Of course, Craig Hillbell worked for Smiley's Dairy too.
yeah. Do you remember, the gas station out to the north with the Berthumes?
Yes,
Yeah.
Probably in Benham.
And then my Uncle Silas married Georgia.
What's
yes.
the one, the Historical Society
It was,
down in Washington has.
it was cool.
Tell you about being in the Air Force about that.
He was ADC in a SAC base.
Area defense.
He was, yeah, he
Yes,
was.
but we had a separate place, compound, big security fence and everything. APs, you couldn't get in unless you had your pass. So we're having an alert. In comes a rubbish truck with a big dumpster on it. So the AP just opens the gate and lets him in.
Oh, jeez.
Never checked the dumpster to see what was in there.
Yeah, that's scary.
Well, it was scary for him because he lost all his rank.
But he did.
Shepherd Air Force Base. There was a guy from California who got stationed in Brunswick because they had the same identical outfit that I was going to, but in California, and we wanted to switch and they wouldn't let us.
Right.
No,